We have a huge update on the possible wrestling return of Bray Wyatt, and Tony Khan shoots on Triple H taking over WWE Creative. But first, let's go behind the scenes in the build-up to CM Punk's AEW return. This past Wednesday night, CM Punk would make a surprise appearance at the end of the Quake by the Lake edition of Dynamite, after Jon Moxley retained his interim world championship against Chris Jericho. In a fresh report from Fightful Select, it has been confirmed that the working plan for the upcoming All Out pay-per-view is to hold a unification match for the AEW World title held by Punk and the interim world title held by Moxley. Whilst this isn't unexpected, it's the closest we've had to the match being confirmed. The report also revealed that there was a restricted area backstage at the show, with the purpose of this being kept secret from most of the roster, and it was to keep Punk's return as quiet as possible. And Fightful would note, "We're told that there was a restricted area backstage at Dynamite Quake by the Lake, which now most assume was related to CM Punk's return. The news was kept away from staff and much of the roster, including some of the people who were actively involved in the main event Gang Wars segment. Punk personally played the news close to the chest as well." With the recent returns of Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, the AEW roster is edging closer to full strength, as fans now await the comeback of Kenny Omega to the fold. Most people expect him to be revealed next week as the mystery partner of the Young Bucks, who are looking for a third man in the Trios Championship tournament. Next up, Danhausen has addressed critics of his gimmick. One of the most popular yet divisive wrestlers in AEW is Danhausen, who, much like Orange Cassidy, receives criticism of not being serious enough or too silly for pro wrestling. Yesterday, Danhausen would appear on the Dark Law podcast in his human form, where he addressed his critics, discussing how he and Orange Cassidy have created new wrestling fans through social media, making them a gateway to other acts on AEW shows. And he would say, "I feel me and Orange Cassidy are the go-to people for people to complain about when people don't like, oh, this is too goofy for wrestling. Also, we're the two people I always hear, oh, my friends don't like wrestling, but they love you two, and now they watch. Or, oh, I wasn't really watching, but I saw you two, so I started." It's a testament to, we're creating new fans, which is what you should be doing as a wrestler. That's exactly what all of our jobs should be, and I feel only a handful of people are actually doing that. Whenever anybody comes up to me, it's multiple people every single line I do at a meet and greet. "I never watched wrestling, but I found you on YouTube." Great, that means I'm creating new fans who haven't watched people like Dante Martin, who is a tremendous athlete. Now they're watching him like, oh, this weird guy got me into this, and now I can see Bryan Danielson, Dante Martin, Jade Cargill. In the past, AEW president Tony Khan has explained how Orange Cassidy specifically is a net gain for the promotion financially due to merchandise sales, with there previously being doubts towards him from some within the company, most notably Jim Ross. It's fair to say that there's an argument to be had on both sides of the coin, but let me know what you think. Is there a place for Orange Cassidy and Danhausen in All Elite Wrestling? Let me know in the comments down below. And next, 2 title matches have been added to the upcoming Impact pay-per-view. Tonight, Impact Wrestling will host the Emergence pay-per-view from Cicero, Illinois, a show that will see 5 title matches take place across the main card and the pre-show. On this week's episode of Impact, it was confirmed that Brian Myers will defend his Impact Digital Media Championship against Bhupinder Gujjar, this after the champion finally accepted the challenger's call for a match. Elsewhere on last night's episode, the bout for the X Division title was confirmed after Speedball Mike Bailey successfully defended his belt against Rocky Romero, with him now going on to put his title on the line against former AEW star Jack Evans, who was announced for the pay-per-view last week after his recent All Elite departure. The 2 matches join the Knockouts tag title match, with Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie defending against Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo. Jordan Grace defends her Knockouts belt against Mia Yim, and Josh Alexander puts his world title on the line against TNA legend Alex Shelley, who is looking to win the belt for the first time. The event is available using the Fight affiliate link in the description below if you fancy checking it out, and be sure to let me know your predictions for the show in the comments down below. Next up, we have an update on the ongoing Jeff Hardy court case. Current AEW star Jeff Hardy was arrested on June 13, 2022, later charged with DUI, his third offense within 10 years, driving with a suspended license, and violation of restrictions placed on driver's license. As previously discussed in older videos, Hardy has filed a written plea of not guilty, with there now being an update on his next hearing. A hearing that was scheduled for August 17th has now been pushed back for 60 days after a request protest from his lawyers, and he's also waived the right for a speedy trial in his DUI case. Via PW Insider, we have a statement from his lawyer in regard to pushing the hearing back, with them saying, Mr. Hardy is charged by information with 1 count of driving in violation of driver's license restriction, 1 count of driving while license cancelled, suspended or revoked, and 1 count of driving under the influence, 3rd offence. The state of Florida tendered discovery August 2nd, 2022. Undersigned counsel requests additional time to review discovery and compile mitigation. It seems that Hardy's team want more time to compile a defense for the former WWE champion. We have no court date currently scheduled, although it's likely to be around late October or early November. And next up, 2 WWE returns could happen tonight on SmackDown. Since Triple H took over the creative reins of WWE, many main roster returns and debuts have taken place, with Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, and Dexter Lumis all making appearances in recent weeks, many of whom had been released by the previous regime. It seems that Triple H's impact on the roster isn't slowing down, with 2 more released WWE superstars set for a comeback, possibly tonight. According to Fightful Select, Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis are expected at the SmackDown tapings in some capacity, although for now it hasn't been confirmed why they're being brought in. Both men are members of the former NXT faction Hit Row, who were called up to the main roster in October 2021 before being released less than 2 months later. Regarding the other members of the group, Swerve Strickland is of course now signed with AEW, so he won't be showing up, and it's unclear if B-Fab has been reached out at this point. But what do you make of the latest possible WWE returns under Triple H? Let me know in the comments down below. And speaking of returns, we have a huge update on the possible wrestling return of Bray Wyatt. In a brand new story from Fightful Select, a ton of information has been reported concerning both the release of Bray Wyatt and his possible comeback to WWE. It's been noted that with Vince McMahon no longer being in charge of WWE, his return is now much more likely, with talent having a fresh slate under Triple H. Wyatt is said to have had a bad relationship with McMahon during his time with the company, with the wrestler often criticizing the lack of creative direction behind his character, this leading to people within Vince's inner circle leaking stories of Bray being hard to work with. The report would provide a quote from a WWE higher-up who would tell Fightful, "When things were shit, Wyatt would say that things were shit, and Vince saw that as difficult to deal with." One of Wyatt's key frustrations came when he was heading into WrestleMania last year, where The Fiend was supposed to defeat Randy Orton, although the result was changed within days of the event. A source noted that there was never a long-term plan by Vince McMahon's regime for the resolution of the story, which frustrated those involved in it. Another source noted that McMahon would often shout at Bray backstage, running him down over his physique, and the two just simply didn't get on. The term budget cuts being used to justify Wyatt's release is said to have gave the roster a morale hit, with him being known as a top merchandise seller in the company. This of course left many feeling their job was unsafe, with a quote from a talent saying, "If he makes the company money hand over fist and they use budget cuts as an excuse, what am I?" Many within WWE feel that there is a much better chance of a WWE return now that Triple H is running the show, with a possible return even being pitched in recent creative meetings, and his name has been brought up. That said, this doesn't confirm a return, but it is being considered. Regarding other promotions, it was reiterated to Fightful that Wyatt had no interest in going to Impact Wrestling, with them actually trying to sign him, although there was no mention of AEW in the report. The situation is certainly one to watch going forward, with Triple H looking to bring back many stars to bulk up the roster. And finally, Tony Khan shoots on Triple H taking over WWE Creative. Since the retirement of Vince McMahon from WWE, Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon have taken over as co-CEOs, whilst Triple H has taken over as head of creative. Because of this, many fans expect improvements to WWE shows going forward, with Triple H often being considered more in touch with modern wrestling fans, with his shows at the head of NXT often being seen as better than every other WWE brand. This week, AEW President Tony Khan would speak on the Super Crossover podcast to discuss the change to the competition, with him feeling that there are positives and negatives to the news, and he would say, "The challenge would be that I think we're more likely to compete for the same wrestlers, because I think that our vision of wrestling is probably a bit closer together than with his predecessor. I do think there are a lot of advantages though. The shows they've been doing are generally better than the shows that they've been doing before the change, which is good for the wrestling business. It's a little bit different than what we've been going up against before, and in terms of me being the CEO of AEW, I see some positives and some negatives, but I see a lot of positives." Khan would then say if WWE manages to bring back some lapsed fans with an improved product and new management, then this can only benefit AEW with a trickle-down effect taking place, and he would add, if you've been away from wrestling and you're a big fan of it, then there's a good chance you're very familiar with a lot of the top stars in AEW. Somebody who's stepping back in and watching wrestling again would have a lot of interest in that. It poses some challenges, but I think there's a lot of positive things about what's happening in wrestling right now too. Whilst the negatives include AEW talent possibly being more willing to return to WWE, the positives are that if WWE can bring back more wrestling fans, it means that more people will discover AEW and other wrestling promotions. The better the shows are, the better for wrestling fans in general, with strong competition from both sides forcing the other to get better, hopefully leading to an exciting era for professional wrestling as a whole. And before you go, make sure you check out every All In wrestler that didn't sign for AEW.